Greetings again. This video is going to show you how to begin your running your plumbing lines. It can be just a little bit tedious. It's not so bad after you get going, but I am going to show you basically an overview of how I did my cold water lines, and then of course your hot water lines. I'm going to do a separate video on hot water lines in case you need me to go all the way through step by step on how to do that. But I'm just going to kind of do an overview with the cold water line. And first off, of course, you see I have blue lines, and they are long line, short dash, or long dash, short dash, whatever you want to call that. And I'll show you how I made those lines. If you go into the Manage tab right up here on your tab bar and click on Additional Settings, and then go to Line Styles, and inside of Line Styles you'll get this dialog box with just one category. It says Lines, and there's a plus mark next to it telling you that there's more stuff underneath, so click on that and you'll see that I've already made my lines. I'll show you those in just a second, but in order to make a line, all you have to do is click New, and you're just basically making a new line style, and then you name your lines just like I have named mine: cold water supply, hot water supply, and then wastewater. Okay, going back up to my cold water supply, and all of my lines, actually I turned them to a weight of 2. Okay, so under the line weight column, it is number 2 for all of those. And of course that's just my preference, that's nothing written in stone. I changed it, of course, the cold water, all you have to do is click on the color. I think the default color is black, but just click on the color and change your cold water to blue, your hot water to red, and then your wastewater to green. Okay. And I might have to go a little bit lighter green than that. I'm not sure. I'll determine that here in a little bit. And then on the line pattern, right over here in the side, we're going to set the cold water to a center line that is 3/8 of an inch. And you just do that by clicking on the box and then clicking the drop down arrow, center 3/8 of an inch. Hot water supply is going to be a double dash 3/8 of an inch. And then your wastewater line is going to be a solid. Okay, that's solid green. All right, and then you just click apply. When you're done, click OK, and then you come to your screen and you can start drawing pipe. So I'll show you how I did this starting right here. I'll show you what you see. This is the plumbing penetration pipe. This is what comes up through a solid concrete foundation. It comes from up under the foundation, because they run the pipes, the supply lines, they run them under the foundation, and then they create this penetration. Some people call it a stub out, but that's what that is, pipes coming up out of the concrete. And here you can see I have some lines that are actually, as indicated, they're actually coming out of the pipe with those symbols there. Now, symbols kind of represent fittings. In this case, they would be 90-degree fittings coming up out of the pipes and going off to the side. Now, these pipes are plastic PVC. There's other types of pipes that they use, some that you don't have to use fittings on at all. They're just basically like a water hose almost. But we're just going to go through the standard PVC type fittings. And to show you what those fittings look like, I think I have a screen on that somewhere. And let me pull that over to this screen to show you what that looks like. Where did it go? It went over on the other screen. Okay, so these are your PVC fittings. All these different fittings have different symbols that represent them. We're just going to really use the very basic. We're not going to get too in-depth with that. You'll get more in-depth with that if you decide to have a career as a plumbing designer. But see, a 90-degree elbow, I'm trying to find one here. There's a 45-degree elbow, and you can see how the pipe just kind of slips in there, and then they use a very strong glue, because typically these are in places that you don't want to have to access if you don't need to. But a very strong glue inside that to glue the pipe into the fitting. These are different other types of fittings. There's a T fitting. You're going to get to use one of those. And I don't see an elbow on. There's one right there. There's an elbow fitting right there. It's very similar to the 45. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. So that's how we're coming out of this plumbing penetration with the 90-degree elbows, and then we have a cold water line coming over here, and I need to put elbows right there. And how I do that, this will be a good opportunity to show you, but I'm on the Annotate tab, and then I click on my detail lines, and here is where you will see those different line types that you made. There's my cold water, my hot water, my wastewater. Okay, and I'm just going to use a regular line, and actually I'm going to do better than that. I'm just going to copy this line. Okay, copy, find the center, take it over here, place it about 1 inch away, and now the next one I'll have to draw because it's horizontal. I could go and find another horizontal line, but I just figured I'd do it like this. Okay, so 1 inch long is how long I make these lines. Okay, and I also place them 1 inch from the corner. And you do that. When you click on it, you get all these temporary dimensions, and look for the one that measures from here to here, and you just click there and type 1 inch. Okay, and then select the other line, click there, type 1 inch, and there you go. Okay, so anyway, that cold water line comes into a 90-degree elbow, goes through a gate valve, okay, which I created basically by drawing a triangle and then mirroring that triangle. Okay, and you do have a triangle tool in your drawing tab or your drawing panel, and it's not really a triangle tool, it's a polygon tool. You click on that, and then you tell it over here how many sides you want. So triangle has 3 sides, I put 3 in there. And then I just drew the triangle, no particular size, I just drew it, and then I mirrored it to flip over and create this double triangle. Okay, so this side, as far as supplying my bathroom, again, I come out of the plumbing penetration. I have a 90-degree elbow coming out, and then going into this line, and I need to put a T right here, and I'm noticing these things kind of as I go along. And actually, I'm going to copy this T and just take it up there. All right, so that is a T to tap into this line. This is another T where the sink taps into the line to deliver, or to, for the T delivers water to the sink. Speaking of this sink, didn't mean to jump out that far. But of course the line going to the sink, just take it up under the sink and then terminate that line with a filled region. This little dot, a filled region, just like you did the rebar. Make a filled region dot, make it blue, and make it about a 1/2 inch diameter. Okay, and then of course you continue on with your line, and you see here's my long dash, short dash, long dash. Go through the wall right there, coming on around. You see I've got fittings. I got 90-degree elbow fittings at each corner. Come right up here under the window, come over here behind the toilet, and put an elbow, and then terminate right there at the toilet. At the toilet there will be a valve that really isn't indicated. I don't know why they don't indicate those. I guess, well, they're common and you have to do it. But there will be a gate valve down there that you can control the water flow to the toilet from below the toilet. The same thing with the bathroom sink here. There's also a small gate valve up under the cabinet that this line will go through before it gets to the faucet. Now, of course, I went around the other direction through the wall again. Mind your fittings. Oops. And there's a T going into a 90-degree elbow and then going into another elbow, terminating into the tub. Now, of course, when you terminate these, you have to terminate them toward the right. That's the side that cold water goes on, is the right. Hot water goes on the left. Very important. All right, and then going to the shower. Here I just have a series of 90-degree elbows. Now my pipe for my shower is going to come here and it's going to turn upwards, and that's what this solid circle represents, is basically my up pipe. Regardless of the size of the pipe it is, I just draw a 1-inch circle to represent the up pipe. There's actually a different circle that you use to represent down pipe. Down pipe would actually have a segment cut out right here with the line extending into it. And I really could have drawn this either way, but I wanted to start with the direction that the water was going and do it that way. Let's see. So that is pretty much my cold water. There's no other anything else to go over as far as cold water. So I'm going to stop this video, and if you think you got it, then go ahead and do your hot water as well. Now your hot water is going to originate from your hot water heater. Oh, and speaking of water origination, I'm sorry, I forgot this one part, and that is your line to the outside, which does go underneath goes underneath the slab. So I'm going to start right here with my this penetration, and I'm going to draw a line, and I want to keep my angles at 45 degrees because that's your most common fitting is 45 degrees and 90 degrees. If you do anything kind of weird degrees, then you got to order special fittings and stuff like that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going under the slab, and I'm going to bring it out here, and right here I have to go around the stove because I have a vent on my stove that is a downdraft vent. Basically it pulls the air from the smoke and everything from the stove down into the wall and underneath the slab and then out to the outside. So there's going to be stuff going under the slab right there. So I'm going to take this pipe, I'm going to run it just like so, and I'm just going to run it right out the door here, and it really doesn't matter that I go out the door because I'm under the slab. But you definitely want to kind of locate these lines. I need to have a location where someone can look at the plans later and dig those lines up if they have to. Okay. So that is this is my gate valve, my control valve for the outside. All houses have these. It's basically a shut-off valve in case you need to shut off water to your house. But it's a gate valve, and that's the symbol, again, just like I had for the water heater. And it comes to the house right there. Now, of course, the water comes from the city. It'll actually come out a meter right here, and I'll just show you that later. I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm going to go ahead and cut here and then go to the hot water video.